Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. The time is exactly 8:33 a.m. This is News and Views right here on Salam Media. And next we'll be talking with Asif Essop. He is Assistant Treasurer at SAHUC, and he's going to be unpacking SAHUC's summarised annual review of activities for 2021-2022. Assalamu alaikum to you. Welcome to the program, Asif.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shukran, jazakumullah khair for having us on this program.
Lovely to have you here. Let's bring people up to speed as to obviously the activities of SAHUC during the years 2021-2022. I kind of also wonder, as we speak about these 2 years, how COVID, the 2 years of lockdown or the almost 2 years of lockdown, impacted on SAHUC as well, as it did the global ummah, so to speak.
Yes, in fact, the COVID-19 pandemic has, caused major challenges for us as South Africans when it's coming to, the pilgrimage. And as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Hajj for the 2020 and 2021 was cancelled for South African Hujjaj, and as a result, it impacted on the organization financially as well. And fortunately, with SAHUC being able to have reserves in hand, we were able to manage these 2 very difficult years financially. Alhamdulillah, to Allah.
So, what does the activities of SAHUC look like as far as 2021, 2022 look like? And is it looking very positive? And how does SAHUC and the rest of the South African Ummah with regards to Umrah and Hajj move forward? Let's focus on your activities for the previous and the current year.
Okay, so alhamdulillah, during the period of COVID, whilst we were not having Hajj for South African Hujjaj, the organization was able to concentrate on other administrative aspects of our operation, and as a result, the Hajj registry was being upgraded and developed during this past financial year, including other administrative aspects of the organization. But alhamdulillah, the work continued. The organization was able to keep its operations within the country functional. We were able to still keep the offices of the SAHUC open in all our regions, and of course the board and the NGC continue to function without any challenges. Alhamdulillah. And what has happened is, shukr to Allah, that this year we were again allocated a quota, and Hajj was open for South African Hujjaj. As a result, the whole ball, started rolling again with regards to preparations and getting things in place and getting the mission together, accrediting Hajj operators, and as a result, the whole accreditation process of Hujjaj that we're going to undertake this pilgrimage of financial year that we're currently in. Alhamdulillah, the organization was kept quite busy, but of course the quota was, reduced to 1,132 for South African Hujjaj. So as a result, we were unable to send, the normal base quota that we normally get of 2,500. But of course, it has impacted financially on the organization, because when you look at the cost of Hajj currently in this, specifically to this last Hajj, it was extremely expensive. Flights, accommodation, all of those costs went up, and as a result, Hujjaj to a large extent had to be subsidized when it came for this Hajj that passed.
Just elaborate on the Hujjaj had to be subsidized. Would that have been by SAHUC? because we do know that it was astronomically expensive this year. Even when you look at the Umrah packages, the current Umrah packages is really the cost of what a Hajj would have cost pre-COVID. So has SAHUC actually come to the aid of the Hujjaj by having subsidized them?
Yeah, in fact,
Oh, wow.
I just need to clear this when I say subsidized. I'm specifically referring to the Hajj accreditation fee, which stayed at 1,500 rand for the past many years. And of course, when you look at the expenditure of the mission in sending up the mission staff together with the medical staff and the medication, together with the air tickets, when we take all of that into account, the 1,500 rand wouldn't have covered the actual expenditure of the Hajj that has passed recently.
So does that then suggest that perhaps going forward that SAHUC might be upping their fees? And knowing
Yes,
that
we are good.
we're still looking at the Hajj, I don't think, and I'm sure you'd agree with me, we can't see pricing coming down. I think all around the world, all industries are trying to recoup the losses of the COVID shutdown. So I don't see it. It would be wishful thinking if prices come down. That ain't going to happen. Does that then suggest perhaps that SAHUC are going to increase their fees to prospective Hujjaj?
Yeah. So what will remain is the registration fee of 275 rand will still remain. But of course, when it comes to the Hajj accreditation fee, we may see a slight percentage increase as a result of the costs drastically increasing within the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and of course when it comes to travel as well, the travel costs have gone up, quite in last summer. So as a result, we may see a slight increase in the Hajj accreditation fee, whilst the registration fee will remain the same going forward.
Asif, don't you think that prospective Hujjaj might push back against SAHUC regarding increase in registration fees and other fees for that matter? They may argue that perhaps we don't need a very big contingency in supporting South African Hujjaj because the numbers have shrunk in any event, the quota. How would you respond to that?
Yeah, in fact, if you look at the costs, as you earlier mentioned, everything has just gone up with regards to accommodation, travel, and other costs as well within the kingdom. And in order for us to provide the necessary requirements with regards to the primary health care and the services that the mission renders to the judge in the kingdom, based on the protocol that we signed with the Hajj Ministry, we'll have to make sure that we maintain those very high standards that we have set over the years. And of course, it will come, at a slight increase, in the accreditation fee. As I mentioned earlier, there's not going to be any increase in the registration fees for the next financial year. But of course, the judge that undertook this last Hajj, where had to fork out large sums of money with regards to packages, that were afforded to them. And in order to complete this pillar of Islam, they did that. And as a result, they undertook the journey. They were able to make major, sort of sacrifices and they met those increased demands, with the financial demands, and they were able to undertake the journey. Our, increase is going to be a very minimum amount. So I don't think so. It will be a challenge for them to be able to make that little adjustment.
Inshallah, let's hope not. I've also heard that food prices in the kingdom is astronomically high. Uh, I've just heard that it's unbelievable what you're paying for food. But be that as it may, we've been focusing on challenges for the year for SAHUC for the years 2021 and 2022. Let's focus on, highlights and achievements. We also know very sadly that SAHUC, and the whole of South Africa were truly heartbroken because one of your colleagues had passed away whilst on Hajj 2022. Talk to us a little bit about the passing of Farid Musa, and then let's focus a little bit on highlights for Sahuk for the current and the past year.
Yeah. In fact, the passing on of our brother Farid Musa came as a shock to all of us. Farid has been on the mission for a number of years. He was an extremely, likable individual, someone who always, had a smile on his face. I was told when, people arrived after a very tiring journey, they arrived in Jeddah, Medina, and when they were having challenges, just seeing Farid's face and the smile on his face relaxed them immediately and calmed them down and gave them comfort. So yes,
Alhamdulillah.
it's a great loss to Sahuk and to the Muslim community of South Africa. We make a dua that Allah grant him the highest stages in Jannah and
Ameen.
grant honor to his family. And Farid, was someone that went, beyond the call of duty to serve the Hujjaj. And alhamdulillah, that he passed on while being in the service of the guests of Allah.
Absolutely, and that's the mort we all make dua for. We ask Allah to take us whilst we're on Hajj or Umrah, because really, what better place to pass on in, other than the Holy Lands. Having said that, I also have a memory of Farid Musa. I went on Hajj with my dear son in 2014. I didn't have much interaction with Farid, but the minimal interaction I did have with him, you are so right when you said, with a smiling face. It was nothing but. A smiley face, and Allah grant him the high stages in Jannah. Let's talk about other
And
highlights as far as Sahuk is concerned.
yeah, in fact, we're looking forward to, a better 2023, financial year. We are expecting the quotas to go back to the normal quota that South Africa had of 2,500, and of course, and hopefully an addition of another 1,000. But inshallah, we're looking forward to things opening up with regards to the quota allowing more South Africans to undertake the journey. As we mentioned earlier, we're not sure about the financial constraints, the financial challenges, and how the increase in the costs within the kingdom will impact on Hujjaj accepting accreditation. We did find a bit of a challenge, even this 2022 Hajj, where people were not able to afford it as a result of the major increases in costs, and as a result they deferred their Hajj. So alhamdulillah, we're looking forward to a better 2023 Hajj inshallah, and also hopefully we are able to get an increased quota like we always do when the protocol team goes to negotiate with the Hajj ministry. They always request for additional quota, so hopefully we look forward to getting that additional quota, and we are looking forward to a more smoother year when it comes to Hajj inshallah. And we rest assured that the South African Hajj and Umrah Council is there to be able to assist and make easy this journey for South African Hujjaj, inshallah.
I mean, we're going to have to leave it there. But before I do, I have a comment from Brother Faisal, and I'm going to read it out. He says that Sahuk is unrepresentative organization pretending to represent South African Hujjaj. The sooner they fold up and are resigned to the dustbins of political, I can't read the last word, it doesn't make sense to me, but political something. So basically what he's saying is the sooner SAHUC is dismantled, the better for the greater South African Hujjaj. Your thoughts on that negative comment on your organization? Do you believe that it's fair? Do you believe that you are truly representing the people?
Yeah. Uh, so this keeps on coming up, out there in the public, year in, year out. At the end of the day, we have been, constituted and put in place by then the Foreign Ministry of South Africa, and we are the organization that together, represents the South African Hujjaj, and we, at the end of the day, are the people, the organization that works with the Hajj Ministry and are recognized by the Hajj Ministry. So yeah, I think people will have their perceptions, people will have their own reasons for saying what they do say, but at the end of the day, our work is to help the pilgrims and the guests of Allah, and we will continue to do that, and we do it for the pleasure of Allah and solely for the pleasure.
Okay. Just in closing, let me ask you this question. It's a personal question from myself. As guests of the Holy Kingdom, when we go on Hajj, is it not the duty of the Ministry of Hajj to take care of us? Do we really need a SAHUC to be supposedly looking after our interests? And if SAHUC is done away with, what sort of bottom line figure are we looking at as a saving to the prospective Hujjaj? Would it be in the region of about maybe 5,000 Rand per annum added onto your Hajj costs? Or are we looking at maybe 1,500 Rand or 2,000 Rands?
Okay, so when protocols are signed, and remember that each country has their own rules and regulations, and the Hajj Ministry, of course, has their own rules and regulations for the Hujjaj that are traveling to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So as a result, when it comes to primary health care, when it comes to the managing of the pilgrims whilst they are there, and the support services that are rendered to the pilgrims whilst on Hajj, is a requirement, and it's expected from the country, of origin of the pilgrim. So even when it comes to the medical mission, we have to register with the health department, with the health ministry within the kingdom, our doctors and nurses as well. And the requirement is that when it comes to primary health care, we will have to take care of it as South Africans. We will have to have our medical team there, including medication, which is sourced in South Africa and then transported and couriered to the kingdom. So at the end of the day, even our medical team is not allowed to attend to any foreign people of other nationalities, pilgrims of other nationalities. We can't attend to them. So each country has their own setup and their own structures with regards to their clinics and their medical teams. So at the end of the day, that's a requirement of the Hajj Ministry. We sign protocols and we have to deliver based on that. When it comes to the saving, at the end of the day, the accreditation fee is 1,500 Rand. For 1,500 Rand, we provide you with services of mission workers who receive you. Firstly, we have volunteers before you leave South Africa at the airport. When you arrive, you are again received by these volunteers throughout the period of your stay in Medina, Makkah. You have them at your call.
Okay. Asif, I'm going to have to interrupt you there. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but I think what I'm going to do is escalate this discussion to Inayat Wadi, and he can have a panel discussion with SAHUC and interested members of the public to unpack this. We haven't even touched on your financials, so let's leave it for Inayat Wadi to unpack on his Wednesday night show. But thank you indeed for being with me on the show this morning, and Assalamu alaikum to you.
Jazakallah khair, shukran for having us on your show, and we appreciate the time. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay, we're going to be joined in a minute or two by the Fordsburg Muslim Association, the Young Muslim Association. But before I do, another message from Faisal. He says, I suggest that a program be held to understand the origins of Boko Haram. That was a question I put to our guests, but of course, again, due to time constraints, we couldn't get too much out of him. Once again, I am going to escalate this to Inayat Wadi and let him cover this on his Wednesday night show. But Faisal, shukran very much for your input. It's very, very, very valuable indeed. And of course, these are issues that we do need to unpack and try and analyze from different points of view to get clarity, understanding, and a way forward. So shukran once again to you. It is exactly 8:53 a.m. An ad break, and then we'll be joined by Asima Musa from FYMO regarding an amazing initiative they have undertaken.